What I want to basically do is discuss the new album, Different Light. But if we could basically just introduce yourselves to everybody.
Hello, I'm Debbie Peterson.
And this is her sibling, Vicki Peterson.
And this is Susanna Hoffs.
Right, welcome to Bangles. Now, if we could just start by talking about one of your tracks, When It Takes a Fall, which has probably been your greatest hit to date. If you could tell us, was that fun to do?
That was a really fun song to write, and it went through a lot of changes until the last day. I have a tape of Vicki and I going, we really wanted to do a beat, and we're going, hero is exposed, and this is tape I have. It's really funny, but...
We went outside on Sue's got this old wooden swing set that I think her father built in whenever, the 60s, and it's we were sitting on the swing set, I remember that, and thinking of what is the title going to be? I mean, how we need this central, we need a nucleus, you know, we had all these ideas floating, and not really the concept is, I hate to use that word, but concept. And
we wanted it to be like, lyrically, sort of like the Beau Brummel's Laugh Laugh meets Where Were You When I Needed You meets Positively 4th Street or something?
Right.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
Of course you can hear in all those songs.
And you came up with Hero Takes a Fall.
Which was, when we get stuck, we often do this. It sounds really
It's a
bizarre,
swinging
but we
song.
go and just pull a random book out of the shelf and just open it. Like some people do that with magazines or comic strips. And I pulled out this book on Greek tragedy.
Yeah,
and there was in the intro.
So you set the scene.
See, I know you're Oedipus. You
understand.
Actually, it was the intro to Oedipus Rex. The hero has a fatal flaw, and his crimes are brought to the light of day, and he has a tragic fall. You know,
Did it
the
say
hero
sorry? No.
No, it didn't say sorry, but the hero, takes a tragic fall, and that was it. And we didn't even get it. You had to call me up on the phone a couple days later and say,
So tell us a bit about the track Liverpool you called. What made you want to do that one?
Liverpool Like Egyptian was a song that we heard on a tape. It had never been fully recorded.
And it was done by Kimberly Rue, who was in the Soft Boys, is now in Katrina and the Waves.
Yeah.
And they do the song as well.
So what was she like when you met her? Was she very nice?
In fact,
Very
you
nice.
wrote a letter to a friend of ours, and she read it to me over the phone, and you said, well, that Bangle record, he
The new
really
one.
likes it. He likes the new one.
And he mentioned something nice in that letter. He said, wouldn't it be great if all musicians could be friends, you know, and really communicate with each other? Because it's happened. I mean, let's have some flowers in here, right?
Very nice. Very beautiful.
No, it's true, though, because when we do talk with other artists and interact and you know, anyone from, you know, Kimberly and Jules Shear and these other people, you get ideas.
Christopher.
It's kind of a... You're on a different level because you're always thinking about these things, and when you can share them with other musicians and writers, it's really a wonderful experience.
He saw us at the Marquee in London, which sort of was the
He and
epitome.
Katrina were there. I kept looking at
Right.
Katrina because she was the only girl there, and she was wearing one of those Michael Jackson Thriller leather jackets. And I went, wow, this girl's
In
got
England.
nerve. She's cool though.
But it was one of those crazy Bangle shows, the way we like them,
Where
where
guys
by
are
the end
running
of the
up on
show
stage
they
and-
were lying on the stage, looking up our skirts or something. I don't know, but we
Doing
didn't
the
care
full
at that
dance,
point.
yeah.
It was jam packed.
That was a great
we were
show.
having.
Doing the worm.
It was like 1966 mania. It was crazy. It was like
wonderful.
everyone was going insane, and we were too. And it was. And then Kimberly wrote something about that too.
It impressed
saying,
Kimberly and just said, every time I go on stage now, I think about that show and that
it's
energy.
weird.
Getting back to the track Liverpool, did you have to do any research? I mean, did you really know what a UB40 was at the time?
We knew.
We're incredibly.
It's the name of the
Incredibly
band, you know.
It's like, wow, he had like a UB40 album in his house.
Now, when you look back and listen to the first album, now what are your thoughts about that, having just completed the second?
We always likened the first
Psychotherapy.
album to having our first baby. And they always said the second baby's going to be easier.
Wrong.
Wrong. So this is our second child.
But we did
with
have a
baby
cesarean.
Right.
It was worth it though, because we feel really good about it
Great.
at this point.
Great. Now, aside from writing your own songs, there are quite a few covers on the album. Now, how'd you go about choosing the records you're going to cover?
Well, the Bangles have always actually been known for covering very obscure 60s songs. That's one thing. So on the last album we did Live, which was an Emmett Road song. This time we did September Girls, which isn't really a 60s song, but it was written by Alex Chilton, who was in the Box Tops.
Right, and you seem to have been able to capture that big sound and maintain that amazing
That's an
kind of-
amazing
But
sound.
then we did one Jules Shear song, and we just love his writing. And Vicki and I have written with him, called "If She Knew What She Wants."
Yeah, yeah.
And then
The other song is written by Liam Sternberg, and he worked with Rachel Sweet, and
Yeah,
he's done a lot.
He's a producer. He
wonderful
worked with. Yeah.
He's very talented, and we got, as we were rehearsing, David would bring in tapes and just say, well, listen to this song, what do you think of this? And, 99.9% of them, we just kind of giggled and listened to about 20 seconds of them, but Walk Like an Egyptian, there's something about it where you cannot resist.
it was so weird, and we thought, we can't do this.
But this isn't really us, is it? And then, but we just couldn't get it out of our heads, really.
It had that sort of monotone. It reminded me of an old '60s record with not
Yeah.
Sandy Shaw. I can't think of who. Almost like an Annette Funicello record or something.
Yeah, because it had that sort of, monotonic melody line.
Girl
It was
singer
an
kind of.
interesting performance. The girl who sang on the demo was Marty Jones, one of Liam's bands.
She helped sell the song
One of
for
Liam's
us.
bands, which was called Color Me Gone. Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she's a solo artist now.
Right.
Just saw her a couple of weeks ago.
Now, you had quite a bit of material for this album, yet you still spent quite a bit of time listening to tapes. Now, why is that?
We had quite a bit of material, but we just, we're always open to things. And you never know what you're going to find. You're going to find it going down to Liverpool, and you're going to find it, Walk Like an Egyptian. And if it's great, we'll do it. And we listened to a lot of stuff this time, and obviously through CBS, there are a lot of writers who are contributing and that kind of thing. And although writing our own songs is a priority for us, it's very important to us to put across our own viewpoint. There are always these other quirky little things happening.
Like when we were in the car when we heard the cassette of "If She Knew," and I think I don't know if you were there,
wasn't
Vicki,
there.
but Michael and Debbie and I were in the car, and it just came on, and no one said this is Jules Shear song, but we just went just
Or
Yeah.
something. We were going, whoa, this is so beautiful.
Then we went, oh, it's Jules.
It's Jules. I mean, you could
tell, but it
Once
took
you
a
know his
while.
voice is so
And it was like,
distinctive.
it was just so
style.
beautiful, the melody and the words and
It
everything.
reminded us of an old Todd Rundgren
Yeah.
song, and we also went, oh.
Because we're big Todd Rundgren fans
Yeah,
too.
we obsessed over the song from the beginning. I admit it. I personally admit to obsession with that song.
If she knew what she wants, you knew what you wanted when you wrote the song.
The whole song is about not knowing.
We all knew
It's about
it'd be
being
okay.
crazy about somebody. Well, see, this is a weird song because you can look at it from a lot of different angles.
Like when Jules sang it, it was obviously a guy singing about the girl who was confused.
Like he didn't know what to give to her, and she was, I don't get it.
We
'Cause
didn't
he's
want to change
crazy
the song.
for her, crazy
Yeah.
about her.
We didn't want to change the song and turn all the she's into he's. It sort of, it ruined I don't know, there was something about the way it was and its pristine
The
singing.
way I
about a
looked
woman.
at it when I was singing of it was that I'm in love with the guy, but he's crazy for this other girl who's beyond the point of, God, if only he would just stop being crazy about her and being
Look
crazy
at
about
me.
me, because I know what I want him. That's how I looked at it, but of course it's one of those songs that has so many different interpretations.
Now, you've changed the name of the band now quite a few times. Tell us what the original name was.
So our original name, this is for you Bangle trivia buffs, was the Supersonic Bangs.
The Supersonic Bangs. That was the original name? How long did you
An
have
hour.
About an hour and a
We
half.
left it
Wait
an
a minute,
hour.
how are they supposed to know?
I know. So then we
know
shortened
now.
it to the Bangs.
The Bangs.
Which was our name for many
And then we
years.
lengthened it to the bangs.
So where did you get the idea for the name Supersonic Bangs? Did that come from a magazine?
No,
or-
Esquire magazine, but it was an
The
article.
Supersonic Bang was the name of a hairdo in 1965. I had this, Vicki and I had gotten together to try to brainstorm names, and Debbie was like on the
On the
the
phone.
hotline,
The hotline,
you like
waiting.
this name? This was before when it was just the three of us.
So Supersonic Bang was a hairdo.
Hairdo,
Well,
there this
it was.
cover.
They were being tongue in cheek about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they had the Greco-Roman god or do, yes, this.
Pseudo-Ronette.
Yeah, they had all these-
Supersonic Bang was similar to what I've got here, but it goes about 4 or 5 miles high.
Okay, I want to talk about some of your songs. This song in particular, Manic Monday. Now, I don't know anybody can relate to that song.
This is
Song for everyone.
And knowing that no matter how fast and how much you hurry and how many things you skip doing at home, by the time you get to work, the boss is going to be looking at you and going,
And
"You're
it
late."
does remind me of that Springsteen Dancing in the Dark, the line about looking in the mirror and wanting to change everything, and you can't change your face. You know, you just can't. But you want to.
We experienced that many times.
Everybody
throughout
does.
the-
So,
Now, a friend of yours, Christopher, wrote this song. Tell us a story about that. Was it brought to you? Were you called?
we were phoned, and we met him in a club at the Palace
Purple
in
Cloud.
L.A.
Shh. Sorry.
Yes, his favorite color is purple, and he came to the club, and because he'd seen the Hero Takes a Fall video and really liked that song, and saw a show, and then about 6 months later or 7 months later, we were on a going to London to do our European tour, and he happened to be on the plane.
So he was on the same plane you were traveling on.
Very
Sheer
well.
coincidence.
Of course,
It
he
was
had
really
bought out
great.
all of first class, and we were sitting back in the lavatories. But
Yes. So we got to talk to him on the plane for a long time and talk about songs and really just have a nice conversation. And then about 2 months later, there was a phone call from
and
a friend
behold.
of his saying, "There's, he wants you to have this song right now. Come over and get it right now." Actually, there were 2 songs, but Manic Monday was the one that we
Saving
put
the
on
other
this.
What are you saving the other one for?
Either doing the other one live or
Performing it.
right for this album. So there were 2 songs,
Scotch-Rise
and
out.
Manic Monday was the one that we put on the record.
But he didn't get to hear about it straight away. He was away.
He was in Europe at the time, in France, and we sent him a copy, and he really loved it. So we were very, very thrilled.
Right. Now, tell us a little about the title track. Different Light, is it called?
In a Different Light.
In a Different Light.
Right.
That one was.
Who sings that track? You sing Manic Monday, right? So
I sing Different Light.
And what's that track about, basically?
It was more a song about being very close to someone and trying to figure them out. Being close to someone and wanting to take 4 or 5 steps backwards.
Having no perspective, perhaps?
Exactly. And the whole thing, I want to make a movie of you. I want to write a novel. I want to paint a portrait. I want to get you out of how I see you so close and take a step back, put you in another medium and figure you out. And it was also sort of the thing of other people see you in a certain light. I see you in a different light because I really know you. So I want to take a step back and be more superficial with you and see what happens.
It was one of those songs that came about in the perfect way that Vicky had a verse and pretty much
And the melody,
and the melody, and I sort of threw on a chorus. It kind of worked like that, and it was just boom. We wrote that one
Yeah.
really fast too.
So is that the way a lot of your songs come to you? I mean, is it normally a fast kind of process? How long does it take you to write a song?
It takes months.
30 minutes to 6 months.
It's interesting. You can be in the tour bus and you can think of a chorus, and 6 months later, you go back to it and you remember it, and you go, "Oh, great!" Well,
Of course,
I
we've
had
never
that
been
verse
in
over
a
there.
tour bus. We've only been in a van.
How do you decide who's going to sing a song, seeing as you all sing?
Sometimes we try everybody singing it and see which person seems to.
A
make
lot
the
of
most
time
sense.
it's who has the emotional connection to the song.
Yeah.
you know?
Who wrote it and
Like
stuff.
like in Different Light, when I came up with the verse and the words to it, and then we worked on it with Sue.
Tell us a little bit about getting together the track "Walking Down the Street."
That was the torturous song on the record for us.
It was.
Well, all of them were, but this one was more torturous than the others.
Actually, that one I talked to Christopher about. Originally, the song was just called Desire, and originally it was about just an intense desire, just anything about desire. It could be a desire to be, get an A on your report card, to a desire for a guy. And he said, "Oh, I only write about one kind of desire." And I went, "Oh." It's about that moment where you've been absolutely infatuated with someone. You're madly in love. You have this incredible burning desire, just like in the Supreme song. And you've just gotten to the point where you're just walking down the street, and the whole song is really in the present tense of while you're walking down the street to go and knock on the door and say, "Here I am." It's like you're not going to wait anymore. You're not going to chicken out anymore. You're just going to do it. But the whole song takes place while you're walking. So there is a possibility that you could change your mind, but hopefully
You won't.
you won't.
And of course, we may have a
Dot,
sequel.
dot, dot, yeah.
We may have a sequel when
Knocking
Savannah
on your
finally
door.
gets to his
Yes,
house.
you're willing to sacrifice your pride even of just saying, "Look, I'm completely head over heels in love with you."
Now, the track "September Girls" is another cover on the album. Now, who sings that track?
That's me.
Michael sings
Yes.
it.
I'd had a roommate who had played me this tape of this band called Big Star. She said, "Listen to this," and I went, "Holy cow! Holy beep! Who is that?" It's the most amazing sounding record, and there's a real danger in trying to cover a record that sounds as good as that. A lot of these classic old '60s songs, there's no way that you can. You can't. You have to do it your own way. But I don't know. It's safer to do a cover that isn't so brilliantly recorded. It's just such a perfect moment in time. There's no way to get like that guitar sound again or anything like that. But when you get the feeling of love for a song that we all have for that song, it's an amazing song.
It's like when we tried to cover "Close My Eyes." I mean, "Open My Eyes." I'm
that
sorry, "Open
Nas
My
song.
Eyes." There was no way.
You can't do it.
We couldn't pull it off.
Some songs are made brilliant by the recording, and
Yeah. But that's a good song,
It's a
and
good
also
song
the
also,
recording was
exactly.
just amazing.
Like, for instance, we were considering doing You Were On My Mind by the We Five. Wonderful song, one of our favorite songs. You hear that on the radio, blast it, sing out. But it's the record,
So
the way
great.
their voices sounded, the way they I mean, maybe we'll still do it one day.
You know
Who
what
knows?
we are going to do is we're going to do two a cappella covers in our live show now that we're doing tonight. We're performing them too. Our Mamas and Papas and a Beatles song, a real less
Less well known.
well-known Beatles song.
Which one is that?
This
is.
And which Mamas and Papas?
where you want to go.
Baby.
And we're going to do that now because it's something that we really love to do, which is just sit around and sing. And it doesn't have to tie into the record yet, but
Does the We Five work a cappella?
No, they were a folk band though. I mean, there was I guess one woman and 4 guys, and they were very much coming out of the folk scene.
Yeah,
But the
Mojo
way
Man.
they worked together, yeah, the way their voices worked together, it was just one of those records that was
Amazing.
yeah.
How did you approach the recording of the second album when you considered that the first album was so successful and received such critical acclaim? Did you feel under pressure recording the second album?
We didn't. I don't
boys, it
think we
uncomfortable.
approached this album any differently than the first one. We felt pressure on the first album. We'll feel pressure on the 42nd album.
We don't. We have our own pressure that we put upon ourselves, which is we
Intense.
We push ourselves heavily to play and write and sing as best we can, and that's enough pressure. That the rest of it's like we don't really. I don't know. I don't personally
out of our
experience it because
control.
I'm just doing what I can do the best I can.
absolutely.
And if the outside world wants to,
You, above and beyond anything else, I know I had a sense of this when I was working on this record, that you have your own musical, artistic goals. You want to sing better, you want to write better songs. You're just waiting for the chance to do it, and on a record you get, 10, 12 songs, and you want to create magical performances and
if you
have
are-
them on vinyl.
Yeah.
And it's you're living with this goal for a year or however long it was since you did your last record of what you want to do this time, and that really prevails. That
Yeah.
that
If
sense.
if you can project something that is authentic and sincere, which is what we did with the first record and what I think we've done with the second record, I think that is what people react to. So I don't
Yeah,
think
as
we'll be disappointing anyone.
As far as like critics and people saying things go, I mean, everybody's got a different opinion about things, so you just kind of have to look at it and try not to take it personally, and just, just think in your brain and in your heart that you're doing your best, and
Yeah.
it's what you want to do, and if they don't like it, well, too
And
bad.
to paraphrase, somebody, to their own self be true.